Israel's ancient history is deeply intertwined with the history of the Jewish people, including the kingdoms of Israel and Judah. It is the biblical land promised to the descendants of Abraham and holds significant religious importance for Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Zionism, founded by Theodor Herzl in 1897, aimed to establish a national homeland for Jews, responding to growing anti-Semitism and Jewish persecution in Europe. Herzl convened the First Zionist Congress in Basel, Switzerland, to promote this cause. The Balfour Declaration in 1917 was a letter from Arthur Balfour, the British Foreign Secretary, to Lord Rothschild, a prominent Zionist leader. It expressed the British government's support for the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people. The League of Nations granted Britain the mandate over Palestine after World War I. During this period between 1920 to 1948, Britain administered the region, facilitating Jewish immigration while also facing resistance from the Arab population seeking independence. Jewish immigration to Palestine increased during the British Mandate between 1920 to 1948. Jewish settlers bought land and established communities, contributing to demographic changes and tensions with the Arab community. The 1920 and 1929 Arab riots were violent uprisings by Arab communities against Jewish immigrants and British rule. These events demonstrated growing opposition to Jewish migration and settlement in Palestine. The Holocaust of 1941 to 1945 was the systematic extermination of 6 million Jews by the Nazis during World War II. The horrors of the Holocaust intensified international sympathy for the Zionist movement and catalyzed efforts to establish a Jewish homeland. In 1947, the UN proposed a partition plan dividing Palestine into Jewish and Arab states, with an internationalized Jerusalem. The Jewish leadership accepted the plan, but Arab leaders rejected it, resulting in the Arab-Israeli War in 1948. On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion, Israel's first prime minister, proclaimed the establishment of the State of Israel, marking its independence. This declaration triggered the Arab-Israeli War. Arab states invaded Israel following its declaration of independence. Despite being outnumbered, Israel managed to defend its territory and expand its borders, establishing armistice lines with neighboring Arab states. Over 500,000 Jewish immigrants arrived in Israel, including Holocaust survivors and Jews expelled from Arab countries during 1948 to 1951. The absorption of such a significant population posed economic, social, and cultural challenges for the newly formed state. Israel, in collaboration with the UK and France, invaded Egypt during the Suez Crisis in 1956, to regain control of the Suez Canal, which had been nationalized by Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser. International pressure forced a withdrawal from the Sinai Peninsula. In June 1967, Israel launched a preemptive strike against Egypt, Syria, and Jordan, resulting in a swift and decisive victory in what became known as the Six-Day War. Israel gained control of the West Bank, Gaza Strip, Golan Heights, and Sinai Peninsula, dramatically altering the geopolitical landscape of the region. Israel faced challenges governing the newly occupied territories, with differing populations and cultures. This occupation marked the beginning of ongoing territorial and political disputes, particularly concerning the Palestinian population. During the Six-Day War, Israel captured East Jerusalem from Jordan and subsequently declared Jerusalem as its undivided capital. This move was met with international controversy and has remained a point of contention in the Israeli-Arab conflict. After the Six-Day War, Israel initiated the construction of settlements in the occupied territories, aiming to establish a Jewish presence and secure its borders. The settlement policy became a significant point of tension between Israel and the international community. Various Palestinian organizations, such as the Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, initiated armed resistance and terror campaigns against Israeli occupation. The PLO, under Yasser Arafat's leadership, sought self-determination and independence for Palestinians. Control over land and water resources, including the Jordan River and its tributaries, became a major source of conflict between Israel and its neighboring Arab nations. The United Nations passed resolutions in 1967, including UN Security Council Resolution 242, which called for Israeli withdrawal from occupied territories and emphasized the principle of land for peace. The aftermath of the Six-Day War led to diplomatic efforts, notably through the Khartoum Conference, UN, and other international channels, aimed at mediating the Israeli-Arab conflict and seeking a peaceful resolution based on a two-state solution. However, conflict was never far away and Arab-Jewish tensions continued for years to come. I continue this history up to the present day in my part 2 video. I hope to see you there.